The FBI has just uncovered a bombshell at the lavish Goldberg estate, shaking even the most seasoned investigators. What led them to raid the iconic actress's property, and what secrets lie hidden behind those locked doors? More disturbingly, why has the truth remained a well-guarded secret for so long? The newly discovered evidence has shattered everything we thought we knew about Goldberg, and this story is only getting started. Don't forget to support us by clicking like and share to get more interesting videos. Under the dim streetlights of the early morning, the neighborhood where the magnificent Goldberg estate stood was so quiet you could hear the leaves gently brushing against the sidewalk. But this morning, that calm was shattered by the roar of engines, hurried footsteps, and an atmosphere so thick with tension it felt like you could cut it with a knife. It was barely 5 a.m., the sun still asleep, and the neighbors were tucked in bed, save for a few elderly morning walkers. But as the convoy of black, unmarked SUVs appeared, moving slowly yet forcefully, with men in black suits, they knew something was terribly wrong. Bulletproof vests and sunglasses emerged from the vehicles, their faces cold and unreadable. They swiftly surrounded the magnificent Goldberg estate, sealing off every entrance, ensuring no one could come or go. Then, bang, bang, bang. The sound of pounding echoed like thunder in the stillness of the early morning, ruthless and unrelenting. This was no ordinary visit. It was a raid. Inside the estate, a movement stirred, and the glow from an upstairs window flickered, signaling that the house's owner was awake. The heavy wooden door groaned open slowly. There stood Whoopi Goldberg, the woman beloved by America, who had weathered the highs and lows of Hollywood but had never faced anything like this. Though she had just woken up, Whoopi held her usual composure. Dressed in a light gray robe, her hair flowing naturally, her eyes scanned the group of agents standing at the door, not with fear, but with a mix of surprise and confusion. "What's going on?" Her voice was steady yet edged with sharpness. One of the agents stepped forward, revealing an FBI badge, then pulled out a file from... "Black suits. We have a search warrant. This is a federal investigation." The words hit like a bomb, shattering the morning mist. As soon as the door creaked open, the agents flooded in, taking control of the estate. Neighbors, drawn by the commotion, began to gather in small clusters, whispering among themselves. "Who would have thought, oh my God, Goldberg?" A middle-aged woman muttered in disbelief. "She's a huge star. How could she be involved with the FBI?" Another whispered back. But the rumors only fueled the rising tension, casting a dark cloud over the once peaceful neighborhood. Word had spread quickly, and reporters arrived in a rush, cameras raised to capture every moment. Local police were soon on the scene, setting up barricades to prevent the growing crowd from getting too close to the estate. The flashes from the cameras bounced off the FBI vehicles, adding to the chaotic, high-stakes atmosphere. Inside the opulent estate, the agents worked in teams, methodically combing through the property. Each group had a clear objective, as they meticulously searched every corner, leaving no stone unturned. The room was opened, drawers rifled through, every book on the shelf shifted. No detail was overlooked. Whoopi stood silently in the living room, arms crossed, her gaze fixed on the agents as they searched her home. She knew one thing for certain. The FBI didn't just show up at her door without cause, but the question was why. What could have prompted them to suspect her? One agent stepped forward, locking eyes with her, his voice firm as he asked, "Would you like us to call your lawyer?" Whoopi exhaled slowly, then nodded. "I think that's the right thing to do." No one knows exactly what the FBI is searching for, but one thing is clear. Their reason for the raid is serious. Agents in white gloves are meticulously opening a drawer in Whoopi's personal library, where she stores important documents, including script contracts and personal letters collected over the years. One agent carefully flips through a stack of papers, each page scrutinized. Meanwhile, across the house, another team inspects the basement, a rarely seen area of the estate, as the investigation intensifies. The basement, filled with old, dust-covered boxes, was opened, and every item was carefully inspected. Then, suddenly, one agent shouted, "I think we've found something." The entire FBI team gathered around as a metal box was pulled from a hidden corner, locked and untouched for years. Whoopi, standing nearby, squinted at the box. "I've never seen that before," she said slowly. The agents exchanged glances before swiftly taking the box outside. They didn't open it right away. Instead, they sealed it carefully and sent it off to an expert for further examination. After hours of searching, the FBI finally left the estate, silent as ever. No statements were made, leaving the press and the public in the dark. All that remained were lingering questions and a famous actress standing in her home, now wrapped in suspicion. The crowd outside began to disperse, but the rumors kept spreading. Headlines flashed across news outlets. FBI raids, Whoopi Goldberg's house, what's going on? The secret in Whoopi's estate? What did the FBI find? America waited for answers, but only those inside the estate knew the truth. The investigation uncovered a truth that could change everything. Whoopi Goldberg, never a stranger to controversy, has faced countless highs and lows throughout her career, from celebrated triumphs on screen to intense backlash for her personal views. But this time, it's different. This isn't about a televised debate or a critical magazine article. The FBI isn't involved because of controversial statements she made. Something far more serious has surfaced, and it's about to rock Hollywood to its core. The raid on Whoopi Goldberg's estate wasn't a spur-of-the-moment decision. Law enforcement experts know that the FBI doesn't execute a search without solid evidence backing it up. This raises a major question. How long had they been watching Whoopi? According to several inside sources, the FBI had been monitoring the actress for months. While no one knows exactly what they were searching for, one thing is clear. This is no minor issue. Federal agencies don't waste time on trivial cases. They only act when there's something truly significant at stake. A search warrant was issued, and it was clear that something serious was unfolding, but the biggest question remains: what made Whoopi Goldberg the target? Some legal experts speculate that this could be a financial investigation, pointing to recent cases where celebrities have been prosecuted for tax issues or questionable business dealings. But if this is just about taxes, why does the FBI seem so on edge? Why send an armed task force to the home of an elderly actress? Could there be something more troubling lurking beneath the surface of her decades-long career? Whoopi Goldberg has faced intense public scrutiny countless times. She's never been afraid to speak her mind, even when it could land her in hot water. Her time as a co-host on The View saw heated debates, controversial political and social remarks. making her one of the most divisive figures in entertainment. Yet despite all the controversies, Whoopi has never faced a threat to her career as real as this. Immediately after the news of the raid broke, the stakes were raised higher than ever before. Social media exploded with a frenzy of theories. Reddit, Twitter, and TikTok were flooded with posts about Whoopi Goldberg. Some argued it was all a misunderstanding, while others spun conspiracy theories suggesting the FBI might be investigating the media itself. The press quickly seized the moment, with sensational headlines dominating every newspaper. Hollywood was in shock. FBI raids. Whoopi Goldberg's home. What's going on? One of America's greatest actresses is under investigation. Could this end her career? The incident quickly became a hot topic on late-night talk shows like Jimmy Kimmel and Stephen Colbert, with sarcastic remarks flying. But behind the jokes was a harsh reality. Whoopi Goldberg is facing a major storm. When the FBI left her mansion, they made no official statements, no charges, no announcement about the mysterious box they took, and no explanation for their actions. Their silence only added fuel to the fire, making the story even more dramatic. Whoopi's fans are now left worrying. Could this be the end of her legendary career? I've heard it all, but let me make it clear, I have nothing to hide, Whoopi said, her voice firm. She didn't go into details about the investigation, but her message was unmistakable. She wasn't going to let this incident tarnish her career or reputation. But will her words be enough to silence the rumors? With the FBI still withholding details about the investigation, the mystery deepens. The question now is what's really happening, and more importantly, can Whoopi Goldberg weather this storm and emerge unscathed? A dense silence enveloped Whoopi Goldberg's luxurious estate as the FBI agents moved in, their flashlights sweeping across every corner, every bookshelf, every perfectly hung painting. But what they were searching for wasn't visible. It was hidden deep within the secrets of this house. As the search continued, one agent noticed something unusual on the wall behind the office, a nearly invisible groove running along the baseboard. At first, it seemed like a mere decorative detail, but when the agent accidentally touched it, a loud click echoed through the stillness. The entire task force froze. Their eyes locked on the wall. One agent, experienced in detecting hidden rooms, crouched down and ran his hand along the groove once more. The click sounded again, but this time it was followed by a strange shift. Part of the wall began to move, revealing a small door that hadn't appeared on any of the estate's blueprints. The agents exchanged tense glances, unsure of what lay behind it. In that charged moment, they reached for their guns, bracing for whatever might unfold. The door creaked open, revealing a narrow hallway that led down to a dark basement. The air inside was thick with a musty smell, as if it hadn't been disturbed in years. As they stepped into the secret room, the agents were struck by how different it was from the rest of the estate. Dusty wooden shelves lined the walls, and an old table stood in the center. But what truly caught their attention were the metal boxes, neatly stacked in the corner, each sealed tightly, untouched for years. The lead agent opened the first box, revealing a collection of old documents, many marked with symbols or dates. If you are curious about these secrets, leave number 1, otherwise leave number 0, and don't forget to like the video and share to support us. The secret lay within the papers. Some had yellowed with age, but their contents remained intact. Another agent flipped through the documents, his eyes widening as he recognized familiar names, powerful figures from both the entertainment industry and politics. But the most shocking discovery wasn't the documents themselves. It was what lay at the bottom of the box, a handwritten letter on thick parchment sealed with a red wax stamp. The letter had clearly been around for decades, perhaps even longer. But what stunned the FBI agents the most was the symbol on the seal. It was a symbol they couldn't immediately place, but one that was sure to have significance. The symbol on the seal was familiar. It had appeared in a major FBI case that had remained unsolved for years. The lead agent carefully picked up the letter, scrutinizing every stroke of the handwriting. The sender hadn't signed their full name, but a part of the letter offered a crucial clue. If this letter had been found, it meant that the truth would likely never come to light. The words were cryptic, shrouded in mystery, as if written for someone in the future, or perhaps as a warning to someone. But the real question was, how did this letter end up in the Grand Goldberg estate? Based on the wax seal and the contents of the letter, it was clear that this was no ordinary find. The FBI suspected that this case was linked to a mysterious incident from many years ago, one that had never been made public. Inside sources hinted that it was tied to one of the biggest scandals in Hollywood history. A high-profile disappearance, a secret buried by those in power. But the most pressing question was whether Whoopi Goldberg was aware of the existence of this room, whether she knew about these secret documents, or if they were something she had unknowingly come into possession of. The FBI understood they couldn't rush to conclusions about these documents. They needed to piece together the full story before making any assumptions. It could be crucial evidence for a case long forgotten, or it could be the key to unraveling a truth that many want to remain hidden. But one thing was certain. The investigation was far from over. News of the secret room was quickly leaked, and the media jumped on the story, racing to report the latest discovery. FBI finds secret basement in the glamorous Goldberg estate. What has she been hiding? Headlines screamed. Theories spread like wildfire, ranging from plausible explanations to wild conspiracies. Some speculated that Goldberg might be holding vital information about a hidden secret in Hollywood. Others speculated that a larger conspiracy could be behind the entire situation. Regardless, Whoopi Goldberg was no longer just a famous actress. She had become the focal point of one of the FBI's biggest mysteries. The most pressing question remained unanswered. What did that letter actually say? And where would it lead? News of the FBI raid on Whoopi Goldberg's estate spread like wildfire in just a few hours. Major newspapers, television networks, and social media were flooded with sensational headlines. The public was in a frenzy, and the mystery deepened. As the FBI meticulously analyzed every detail uncovered, no one could have predicted that they were beginning to piece together clues from the documents found in the secret room. It seemed that everything was pointing to an astonishing hypothesis. Could Goldberg be linked to a shocking incident in Hollywood history? As the agents examined the sealed documents, they realized that many weren't just personal papers. Some contained letters exchanged between Goldberg and high-ranking figures, raising questions about her involvement in matters far beyond what anyone had ever imagined. In the entertainment industry, directors, producers, and powerful figures behind some of Hollywood's biggest corporations had exchanged a series of letters with a name that immediately caught the agent's attention: Howard L. Emerson. While his name might not be familiar to the public, within investigative circles, it was a critical clue. Emerson was a highly influential film producer from the 1970s to the 1990s, but then he abruptly left the industry and mysteriously disappeared from the Hollywood scene. His last public appearance was in 1994, just before a major financial scandal rocked the industry. Related to one of the biggest film studios at the time, rumors swirled that Emerson had left the United States and severed all ties with Hollywood. So why would Whoopi Goldberg exchange letters with someone like him? One document that particularly caught the FBI's attention was a handwritten letter signed by Whoopi Goldberg, sent in 1993. The letter read, "The passage, I know what happened that night. If the truth is exposed, we're all in trouble." The FBI was stunned. What night was she referring to? And what had happened that involved someone like Whoopi, whose career had always been in the public eye? The mystery deepened. Worried enough to write those words, Whoopi sent another letter a few months later, seemingly trying to reassure someone that they wouldn't find anything, just stay quiet. These letters could be evidence of a larger conspiracy, but the FBI had yet to decipher their true context. However, as the agents continued to sift through other documents, one piece of evidence illuminated everything: an old VHS tape with the label, "Do Not Watch, Private." The agents immediately took the tape to the lab to recover its contents. Just by glancing at its worn surface, they knew it held something crucial, something that could change everything. The worn surface of the tape was enough to suggest that if there was anything important inside, it had likely been hidden for decades. As the FBI delved deeper into their investigation, they uncovered that Whoopi Goldberg had close ties with a small group of powerful figures in the entertainment industry during the late 80s and early 90s. Among them were names rumored to be connected to a major scandal, a case that had been either covered up or forgotten by the media over time. In 1991, a young actor had suddenly disappeared from Hollywood after accusing a powerful figure of misconduct. The connection to Goldberg and this unsolved disappearance was becoming clearer with every new piece of evidence. However, the case was quickly hushed up, and the identity of the whistleblower was never revealed. Now, the FBI is asking whether Whoopi Goldberg knew about the case, whether she was involved in any way, either intentionally or unintentionally, and most importantly, whether the documents found in her house could be the key to reopening this long-buried case. As soon as news of the documents in her mansion leaked, the public went into a frenzy. Fans of Whoopi Goldberg, who had followed her for decades, were left bewildered by the new hypothesis, unsure of what to believe about the woman they thought they knew so well. Some believed she might have accidentally become involved in an incident from the past, something she never anticipated. Others believed she could be hiding a crucial secret, and the FBI's search was just the beginning of uncovering everything. Now, the FBI faces a mountain of documents that could drastically alter the public's perception of Whoopi Goldberg. What they found in the secret room might only be the tip of the iceberg, with much more yet to be uncovered. What's hidden beneath that VHS tape? Do the letters truly connect to a major scandal from the past? And if the truth comes out, how will this revelation impact Whoopi Goldberg's career and reputation? One thing is certain: the investigation is far from over, and whatever the FBI uncovers next could change everything. The raid on Whoopi Goldberg's estate not only rocked Hollywood, but also ignited a wave of speculation across the media. A series of theories began to surface. What is she hiding? Do the seized documents tie to a shocking secret? And why did the FBI act with such urgency? For days, the public could only speculate, waiting for answers that seemed just out of reach. But then, amidst the storm, Whoopi Goldberg finally broke her silence. And what she said shocked everyone. In an exclusive interview on one of America's biggest television shows, Whoopi remained calm but determined as the host asked about the raid. She took a deep breath, looked straight into the camera, and said, "Look, I woke up one morning and saw the FBI in my living room. If you think that's a fun way to start the day, you're mistaken." Right from the first words, Whoopi made it clear she had no intention of dodging the issue when asked about the mystery. When asked about the documents seized by the FBI, Whoopi laughed and said they found some old letters, movie scripts, and clearly a few history books. "I guess I should warn them that I'm a collector," she added, insisting that the materials in the secret room were nothing to worry about. Just a personal collection, mementos from her decades-long career. But the biggest surprise to the public came when she revealed something entirely new. The secret room wasn't a place to hide shocking secrets, but rather a personal museum she'd always been drawn to. Hollywood history, especially the parts that people tend to forget, Whoopi explained. That secret room was just my small collection of things I found interesting over the years. She clarified that the letters exchanged with Howard L. Emerson, who was under investigation by the FBI, were simply discussions about film projects that never came to fruition. "We talked about films that were never made, stories that were too controversial for their time," she said. "No conspiracy, no crime, just two people who loved cinema." However, the interview didn't stop there. Explaining the documents when asked if she thought the raid was a plot to bring her down, Whoopi paused for a moment, then answered with a mysterious smile. "Let's just say Hollywood is full of surprises, and some people don't like it when you ask too many questions." This statement immediately sparked a new wave of speculation. Who is behind this investigation? Is someone intentionally targeting Whoopi Goldberg to discredit her? Some sources within the industry began leaking information that the FBI had received an anonymous tip, which led to the raid on Whoopi's mansion. But the big question remained. Who was behind this tip, and why would they want to involve Whoopi Goldberg in such a case? Immediately after the interview aired, public opinion split. Some believed Whoopi was completely innocent, that she was just a victim of a misunderstanding or even a political plot. However, many still remained suspicious. Why would the FBI raid her mansion if everything was as simple as she claimed? The questions continued to swirl, leaving the public on edge. And most importantly, what is it that Whoopi Goldberg hasn't revealed yet? No matter how reasonable her story may seem, there are still too many unanswered questions. The VHS tape that the FBI found in the secret room remains a mystery. Is it just an old film, or does it contain something that could change everything? The answer is still unknown, and perhaps this is only the beginning of a much larger mystery. In the days following the incident, a powerful wave of support from colleagues and fans of Whoopi Goldberg began to reshape the landscape of the entertainment industry, sparking new debates and intrigue. Whoopi Goldberg, a cinematic legend, and one of Hollywood's most iconic figures, now finds herself at the center of an unprecedented storm. The question remains, will she be able to overcome it, or will this become an indelible stain on her career? Less than a week after the raid, major film studios began to take decisive action. A movie project featuring Whoopi, which had been in development, was suddenly put on indefinite hold. A Hollywood insider revealed that studios were treading carefully. No one wanted to get caught up in the controversy. Even a documentary about Hollywood history that Whoopi was producing lost its funding, with the reason cited as a necessary re-evaluation of the project's direction. The project, along with the TV show Whoopi Goldberg co-hosts, also found itself in a tense situation as some sponsors began pulling out. Hollywood is a pragmatic place. When you're on top, the world watches. But when you're caught in a scandal, they quickly turn their backs. Whoopi Goldberg's situation rapidly became a hot topic in the media, and the arts community couldn't ignore it. Some rallied in her defense, arguing that the FBI raid was unreasonable and baseless, but not everyone stood by her. For every supporter, there were critics who questioned her involvement in the controversy, deepening the divide. Some sectors of the industry became cautious, with figures avoiding mentions of Whoopi Goldberg in interviews. Even colleagues who had previously worked with her quietly deleted old posts related to her on social media. Clearly, not everyone was willing to risk their reputation by supporting her. While Hollywood remained divided, the public found itself caught between two opposing viewpoints. A segment of her fans believed Whoopi Goldberg was the victim of a larger plot, convinced the FBI had overstepped its bounds and lacked compelling evidence. But there were also those who felt uneasy, unsettled by the unanswered questions surrounding the raid. The questions, the mysteries surrounding the seized documents, and especially the fact that the FBI hasn't released an official investigation conclusion, have made it difficult for people to take a clear side in support of Whoopi Goldberg. Public opinion is divided, and this has made her situation more precarious than ever. While Hollywood remains a hot topic of conversation, the FBI stays silent. No official announcements, no new information, no updates on the investigation. This silence only adds to the mystery. Is the FBI preparing an important statement, or have they realized they went off course and are quietly trying to backtrack? The uncertainty only deepens the intrigue. A media analyst commented, "Sometimes silence is more dangerous than words. If the FBI doesn't clarify soon, people will fill in the blanks themselves." And indeed, without answers, the wildest theories begin to surface. Some tabloids even suggest that there's a dark force in the entertainment industry trying to bring down Whoopi Goldberg. But regardless of whether that story is true, one thing is clear. Whoopi Goldberg's reputation has been seriously threatened. The longer the silence continues, the more precarious her standing becomes in the public eye. The most important question now is whether Whoopi Goldberg will recover from this shock. Hollywood has seen many stars lose their dignity after major scandals, but there are also those who have risen again, overcoming it all to continue shining. Whoopi Goldberg is a strong woman, a talented actress, and one of the most influential figures in the entertainment industry. But is that enough to help her weather this storm? Only time will tell. However, one thing is certain. This story is far from over. The questions remain, and the public is eagerly waiting to see how she will navigate this crisis. The FBI has uncovered something surprising, but the biggest question remains. What does this mean for Whoopi Goldberg? A new chapter has been opened, and the public has only seen the first page. The truth will continue to unfold, and the secrets yet to be revealed may be even more shocking. If you like this content, please leave a comment, and don't forget to support us by liking, sharing, and following us to receive the next videos.